It is April 10th and it's an absolutely gorgeous day here in Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. Temperature right now is about 18 degrees Celsius, and yesterday morning it was 1 degree, so we're having a real up and down as the weather changes as we're getting into spring now. As you can see, the pond is a lovely green color, which is not unexpected, seeing as it has basically sat idle for the entire winter because of our climate over here. Although this winter was much different than we usually have. We didn't get much snow, but we did get some very cold days. But that said, spring appears to be here, although we are in for some fluctuating weather for the next little while, usually till sometime in mid-May before things finally kind of settle down a little bit. So what I'm going to be doing is working on the pond. I'm wanting to get the pond up and running hopefully by the end of the week, if at all possible. I have to pick up some new pieces to use in the filter pit, making a couple of changes to things this year, and I'll head over and show you that in just a moment. As you saw a moment ago in the video, the pond is extremely green after sitting all winter with nothing happening to it. So I'm in a process now of reassembling all my filter components. They all get changed out and taken apart over the winter to prevent any pipe freezing, etc. So I've started working on them now. I've got some bits and pieces you can see kind of here. I have the saw out. Some of the valves, etc., for the UVs and returns to the pond are there. I'm making some adjustments on there as well, and I will bring that to you later on. And I have already made a change to the pond return from the upflow filters here in the shower. Last year I had this component on the pond, and I'll put a little clip in the video that would show you the two returns coming over the wall, kind of one about there and one just over here. What I've decided to do this year is I'm going to keep it as a single return with a 3-inch return. So that's the pipe here. I did put it in place just a little bit earlier, and it will feed right down into the pond at the surface there. There is a rubber component down here at the end, so if the fish bump themselves, they're not going to get hurt. That'll be coming in, as I say, right at water level. The water's down just a touch from what it would normally be operating at when things are running. So on that note, I'm just going to put the camera down. You can see I've got my bits and pieces here ready to go. I'm going to be making some modifications. As I say, what I will do is I'll show you a little bit later in the video what I have done. One of them will be redirecting some of the water from the pump chamber into my moving bed, just to get a bit better flow coming through there. And of course the easy pods have to get reconnected. Once I have most of this done, and things are in place, I will be able to kind of get the system up and running, so I can at least check if there's any leaks have developed over the winter for any reason from the seals or anything like that. So on that note, while I've got the nice weather here, I'm going to get myself into the pit. Sorry about that, I'm not quite sure what happened there. I bumped the camera and focus kind of went all to heck, so I just resumed that again. So this piece here will be going directly onto the valve down there once that cap is removed. It will then connect to the first easy pod here. Will then connect to this pipe that has to be put in place yet into the second easy pod. The water will, as it did last year, flow from both of them, you can see there, into the moving bed filter, which is here, and then from there it flows down through the valve and into the pump chamber here. You can see I have a bit of the plumbing in place. It's not all ready yet, but I will be kind of working on that in the next day or two once I get the filters kind of positioned properly. I did modified a couple of things here yesterday that had cracked last year and were leaking, so they have been replaced and refitted. So I'm hoping that that will help. This is where the UV units will connect once everything is in place. And as last year, I did have the 2 pumps running. The main pump down, which would be on the bottom of this pipe for the returns. This one that goes through the upflow into the shower and then back into the pond, and that's the one that I'd shown previously in the video there, that I've now switched it from 2-inch returns to a 3-inch return. So it'll actually get a much better even flow coming out of there, at least that's my hope. So I'm going to put the camera down now, get to work. Once I have things hooked up, I will definitely pick the camera back up and let you know. And so I'm going to be working on this for a while today. Hopefully we'll get out tomorrow, weather permitting. I know they are calling for a fairly warm day, but thunder showers and some rain most of the day, so I have to wait and see what happens there. And then I will get things back in place and get everything hooked up and hopefully running, as I said, in the next couple of days. The pipe here, this piece, is what comes from the shower, and I've taken that one elbow out, which is there, just to give me some room to work around the easy pods, because I'm having to move them back and forth to get the fittings in place. So on that note, I will put these down, or sorry, put the camera down, get going on the various components here, and we'll have things, I'd say, hopefully up and running very soon. Fish won't be coming out for a while yet because it's far too cold compared to what is indoors in the pond, but as long as I can get the water moving, start to get some of that green cleared up and do a major water change after the winter, and get the airflow going back through the dome on the bottom drain, we should be good. So I will get back to you with another portion of the video very shortly. To make my changes, and I'll bring you some updates shortly. Good morning. It is April 14th, Sunday morning. It's approximately 10 to 12. Temperature right now is about 7 degrees. We've had rain steadily pretty much all day yesterday, with the exception of a little bit in the afternoon of sunshine. And the rain has just cleared about an hour ago now, and it's warmed up a little. The sun is starting to come out. So I'm going to be out here working on the pond filtration. I have my UV units there. I've just replaced the bulb in one of them. The other one I replaced last summer. So that's good to go for this year. What I did manage to get done yesterday after the rain let up was to get the air pump in here. So right now it is just running the air on the drain cover there for the bottom drain, and the rest of it just kind of bleeding off. You might hear it in the background there. That will be hooked up to go over to the moving bed once I have things up and running. So the pump that's in there now, and you can kind of see that along here, is the one that's feeding the upflow filters and the shower. And I'm happy to say, with the modification that I made, I pointed out earlier in the video what I was hoping to do, but putting in just a 3-inch return as opposed to the splitting into the 2 4-inch returns, seems to be working extremely well. Getting good flow. I think definitely less restriction on the water coming through. Now the pond level is down about 3-4 inches below what it would normally be for operating, so that will impact the return there slightly as far as the water aeration. The water level, was down a little bit after the winter, and then it dropped yesterday slightly when I opened up the valve to get the filters filled up. So with the 2 easy pods plus the my barrel for the pump and for the moving bed, and of course that took about roughly 300 gallons of water, or I guess I actually should say about 200 gallons in total. So that dropped the volume down in the pond, and I will be topping that up a little bit later on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the camera down and get working on the main pump, because that is the next one to go in here. That I couldn't do yesterday until I was ready to get the UVs in here. So they have to go on to the fittings that you can see kind of here and here, and the ones up against the wall. So those are where the UVs will connect. I'm going to get those in place now. Then I'll get the pump in, and then I will show you the other modification that I've made in order to get the water flowing from the pump chamber back into the moving bed to get a bit more circulation in there when both pumps are running. So on that note, I'm going to put things down now, get working on these UVs and the install of the other pump. And once that is done, I will pick the camera up again and I will let you know how things are working out. It is approximately 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, and the weather has improved dramatically from this morning. It's now about 15 degrees. Beautiful blue sky. If you look up there, not sure if you can see it or not, just the outline of the moon. Sun is shining. It is absolutely gorgeous out here. The noise you're hearing is the air and the water down in my filter pit. I have things kind of running. I've got to make a few modifications yet, but overall things are doing well. The 2 UVs are installed. I don't have them turned on at the moment. I'll be doing that shortly. This one had a new bulb July last year. This one I put the new bulb in today before I brought it out here. So I'm going to get those going to hopefully clean up that green water in the pond. And as I said, I'm in the pit. And what I have done in my pump chamber here, I have the 2 pumps running. This one which goes to the upflow and the shower. This one which splits to the 2 lines here going through the UVs and directly into the pond, or I can isolate the UVs completely by turning the valve here and turning this one here, so that will isolate the UVs if need be. What I did add this year is this line here, and I just got it on a slide valve at the moment, don't open part way. This is the moving bed filter, and you can see it's churning pretty well already. Now I don't have the air running in there yet, but what I wanted to do is get a bit more water moving into the filter to help keep the media flowing better than it did last year. And by putting it on this pump line here, that gives me the control I need to either increase or slow it down a little bit if I want to. At the same time, while the water is circulating through my pump chamber here into the moving bed, it's going in there and just coming directly back into the pump chamber itself here. So it's going to keep the water level up a little better than what it did last year, at least that's my hope. So as things stand now, you know, it's pretty much set up here for the season. As I said, I do have to do a little bit of modification on flow rates, etc. This is the main pump, moving air to the air dome, and where the air is kind of escaping at this end here will be connected to the easy pods. I will do that shortly. The second air line, which is up here, will be the one as well that is kind of doing the airflow to the moving bed filter when I hook that up. And that will be the second pump, which I have in my shed at the moment. That's going to be situated here like it was last year. So as I said, things are coming along. I'm very happy with how it's working out. Now I don't think I have any leaks. I'm not 100% sure. Because of the rain we've had in the past couple of days, some of the ground down here in the pit is still fairly damp, so I can't tell if there's any leaks. From what I can see, it doesn't appear that there is, so that's always a good sign. And I'm just going to get out of the pit here, so bear with me for a second. And I will take you over again to show you the pond. So I have filled it up to its normal operating level now. So you can see it's just shy of that first brick. And the dome is working very well. You can see the water flowing in from the upflow filters. And that's on this one right here. And then the 2 that are in this side over here, those are the 2 returns coming from the easy pods. And what they are doing, one of them is just below the water level, and the other one goes down in a couple more feet. So I'm going to get different, you know, kind of flow rates coming through there to help get the water moving as well. So the pond is pretty much ready to go. I'm very happy, as I said, that I've been able to get this done. One thing I will be doing, you know, maybe later today or tomorrow, I'm not sure. This is the pipe here for my flow or trickle in one to keep the pond at the constant level. I've got to install that piece of equipment yet, and so I'm not too concerned at the moment with how getting that in place. It only takes a few minutes, and no urgency at this point because again, no fish in here. The water has been extremely cold compared to, I think, probably some of your ponds over there in the UK, and Jen's down with you, a Mustang Koi in Australia. So I just got a thermometer here, so just bear with me for a second. I'll pull it out and we'll take a look. Let me see what this says. And I'm not sure if you can see that or not on the camera here. There we go. Water temperature is approximately 10 degrees. So it has warmed up somewhat. And that thermometer is on the cord. It's right down at the bottom of the pond. So things are starting to warm up, which is good. It's going to take a while. We're still, again, mid-April. So it's definitely too chilly to be bringing the fish outdoors yet. One thing I do have to do, and I will be doing before too long, certainly before the fish get moved out, is putting the cover on here like I've had in years past to provide shade and some protection for the fish. The electric fence here, it's in place. It is not turned on yet. Again, there's no need to have that running with nothing other than water in the pond. So I think that things are moving along well. I'm very happy with that. Again, it's going to take a little bit of adjustment with a few different things here just to get the flow rate that I want. But I see the upflow filters are working well, and the shower seems to be doing okay. You can just kind of see the water spraying in there. So I know it's going to take a while for the media to mature after sitting idle all winter long. And again, with a few more weeks probably before the fish get moved out, so I don't think there's going to be an issue that way. As I said, I do have a couple more things that I'm going to be doing to the filtration, just as far as flow rates, etc., to make sure that things are going to operate properly and keep the fish happy and healthy. So I will finish up the video here, and I will bring you some more updates, but I just wanted to let you know that we're starting to get closer and closer to pond season here in Canada. So if you have any questions or comments, certainly feel free to leave them below. It's always very much appreciated, as is your support. If you haven't already done so, please hit that like and subscribe button. And again, your support there is also very much appreciated. And in ending things, just like to say, enjoy your koi.